Well, there are so many roles women take on during their lifetime: motherhood, family caretaker, pet mom, and so much more. And when those things start to creep in and cause some turbulence in your career, well, how do you know what rights you have? Here to help us out is the mama attorney, Daphne Delvaux. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Sure. Well, half of the population is interested in this topic. Is it true that we don't have paid maternity or paid leave as American mothers, maternity leave?
So it's true that at the federal level there is no benefit system that gives mothers paid time off. However, many states and also in DC there is a public fund available for parents to tap into when they need time off after birth.
Okay.
So DC actually has its own FMLA, which is a DC FMLA, and it is much more generous and much more expansive, and it is also paid. Many of the mothers that I've supported have taken about half of a year off.
Yeah.
So it is actually way more expansive and generous than we think that we get as American mothers. So it's so important and vital that we look at our local laws when it comes to maternity leave.
Okay, because sometimes if you are a mother working somewhere, maybe that information is not readily available to you, right? So they need to advocate for themselves and find out what those local laws are?
Absolutely, because the employer isn't always going to know. We can't expect our employers to be experts on their field and also employment law, and we're always going to be the best advocate for our own baby. So it's essential that we do our own research, we understand our own rights, and we just don't outsource our power to other folks, because they have their jobs to do and they're busy as well.
Yeah.
So we need to take on this task ourselves and advocate for our needs at work as mothers.
Yes, always need to advocate for ourselves and our kids, that's for sure. Let's talk about the gender pay gap. That's always been an issue with women. How can we address that at work?
The way to address the gender pay gap is to talk about money at work. And this is a little uncomfortable to a lot of folks, and they may be thinking it's unprofessional, or they may think it's against company policy, but the law actually protects conversations about pay in the workplace. So the only way to address the pay gap, the gender pay gap, is to ask the men, the fellas, what they're earning and to talk to them about money. Again, it can be a little bit awkward and embarrassing, but we need actually, ironically, men's participation and support to close the gender pay gap.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll want to have that conversation though.
Not always,
right.
and
but it's worth a discussion.
It's worth asking, and it's also important to understand that there is also an ethnicity-based pay gap. So even between women, we should be talking about our salaries.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Let's talk about changes in DEI that are happening, right now. How will that affect things, the current state?
So first, let me explain what is not happening. I've seen a lot of information that suddenly we no longer have rights at work. We don't have pregnancy protections anymore. We don't have pay protections anymore, and that is not true.
Okay.
So all of the protections and the federal laws that we had, the Equal Pay Act, the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, the Pregnant Discrimination Act, all of those laws are still in effect. The president, the executive branch, does not have the authority to just slash all of these congressional laws. So I just first want to give everyone some comfort that we still have the laws, we still have the same protections, and it's essential that we advocate for our rights and that we use them. What is right now at peril are those extra policies and support groups and measures to support historically excluded and exploited groups. So for example, a women's task force or a women's committee or certain groups that really support certain ethnicities. Right now, what we're seeing is that a lot of these groups are being dismantled. Also other policies like a beautiful breastfeeding lounge or childcare on site or childcare flexibility. Those are some of the policies that right now are absolutely at risk.
Okay, so it's those extra things. Okay.
All the extra things are at risk.
Got it. As we wrap up, for pregnant mothers who might be struggling at work or someone who might be experiencing sexual harassment at work, where can they go for resources to just get some support?
I have a whole library of resources available to mothers and women, and what is so important for women to understand is to look at their local laws, that there may be actually extra support and measures and protection that they may not be aware of, and also that there have been some recently passed laws like the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act that allows you to take more time off, receive flexibility, remote work, ramp up schedules, extended maternity leave, some extra support to survive motherhood as a working mom.
Okay, so advocate for yourself and then go to Daphne. So thank you so very much. We want people to know that all this information and more can be found at Daphne at the Mama Attorney on social media and themamaattorney.com.